Hello? Is anybody else around? For some reason it's not showing me properly. Aha! Now it's playing. Anybody around? Hello? Anybody around? If you're around, just say hi and let me know if you can hear me. Hiya, Chris. Can you hear me? Love to see you. You able to hear me, Chris? Just want to check. Because I can't hear anything back, unfortunately. So I'm resting on the community to let me know if you can hear me. Just waiting for a few more people. It's only 2 minutes in, so we'll give a little more time for everyone. Ah, brilliant. Thank you, Chris. Even if it's just the two of us, Chris, we'll do it together. As I said, it's about who can make it. If it's just the two of us, then the two of us will do it together. So no worries if you don't see anybody else jumping in. We'll just colour together. So I know it's that weird time about getting home, or it's between that sort of time, isn't it? So trying to find out from people when they think is the best time for them. So we'll just give a couple more minutes, and then just 5 minutes for people to sort of jump in, and then we'll get going. You can see, Chris, that I've left the numbers up of what we're going to be using today. So if you've got your pens handy, this is what we're going to be using. Okay, we'll get going. Oh, Another one-to-one session. Yes, I thought it was. It's all good. It's all good. They're just jealous. So it's good. So you can tell me if I'm too far, too slow. You know, it's all for you. You know, the two of us. It's good, isn't it? So we'll just get going then. And if anybody wants to join our one-to-one session, you know, they're welcome. Okay. So as I was saying earlier, these are the colors that we're going to be using today. So I'm just fixing it so I can see on the screen what you're seeing. Brilliant. So what I'm going to cover. Oh, a few more. Hello, Kevin. Oh, from Jean. Sorry, it says Kevin. Hello, Jean. So, as I was saying, just step back a little bit. Is that I said that we're going to be finishing off doing one of the leaves tonight, and just to remind you that these are the colors that we're going to be using. Our lightest color is going to be 179. Our mid color is going to be 65, and our darkest color is going to be 217B. Okay, so I'm going to move that across. And the other thing I want to do is just to give a little reminder of what it should sort of look like when we're, oops, sorry, make sure it's in screen, that would help, wouldn't it? That we're doing this bit here. Yeah, so just to give you sort of like a visual of where we're going. And if I pull the last bit out, what we're actually going to colour, so it's showing you, is this leaf here. And what I was saying in my post is, if we've got time, I would like to do this petal if we've got time. But we'll see. As I always say, I don't rush. So if we've got time, we've got time. If we don't, we don't. Depending, I might even just show you some of the techniques of it, even if we don't have time to finish it all of the petal. So we see how we go. But definitely, this is where I want to start, and this is what I was hoping to share if we got time. So let's get started. So as always, we start with our base color, which in this case it's going to be the 179, and usually I use the base color as well, the lightest color, to remind me of where I'm coloring in. Sometimes I use it for that as well, and most of the time I use it for that, so it just like focuses me on where I want to start coloring in. So for us it's here, so I'm just going to color in this area with 179. And remember, to judge your pressure, if you're not sure, just swing, you know, in a circular motion, turn your nib around like this, and as soon as you see the color, that's your pressure. Then you've got it. Because the good thing about these pens is that you don't need to press hard, you know, to get any ink out of it. You can see it's just gentle, nice gentle little strokes, isn't it? But as I said, I still squeeze it. I don't know. I still squeeze it. I hold it down here because I get the most, I feel I can get the most grip from it and control, rather than up here. But I still like it's mine, like as if somebody's going to take it away from me. Let me know if I'm too close or to where I'm colouring, or you'd like me to zoom out a bit more. Just let me know. It's not just about me just sitting here colouring by myself, is it? Is everybody colouring in together? Two of you colouring in? See, I'm just trying to, the other thing about the edges, you've got a choice of either dotting. Sometimes what we're doing, we dot around the edge, or sometimes what I do, depending on where it is, I may pull from the edge. Again, what I might do is turn it, let me get an example, this way. I might turn it upside down because I find it easier to go like this, or even do the circular motion towards it. So you find there's no right or wrong way. The only thing is to try as much as possible to stay within the line. Yes, we can move it later, but the more you keep in within the space, the less you've got to move. So it just makes it a bit more easier. Again, you can see I'm just using whatever stroke that I feel comfortable. Just to lay down that base color. There. Make sure there's no spaces. Okay, I'm going to turn it back around again. Okay, so now the other thing that I do is I use my mid color to work to mark out where I want the shadows to be. So when I'm doing that, before I even start marking them down, I have a good look at the image. So I can see that this petal is quite clearly over this side of the leaf. And then I look to the top of the leaf here, and I can make a decision whether I want this leaf to be looking as if it's in front, so therefore a shadow here, or I want it to be behind, so therefore when I'm colouring this one, I'd put the shadow here. I'm going to make this one behind both of these, just so that we can have a go at doing the shadow here and what it would look like just to do a bit of shadow here against this. And the same thing you'd be thinking along here, so we'll take that into consideration because we've got all of this here that will cast a shadow. So that's the first thing I would do. In the first part, remember, was looking at the, you know, what bits went where and up and down, and the same thing when I go to do another bit. Even if I've looked in advance, I'd re-look at it and think, right, what do I want this bit to look like? And sometimes it's difficult, isn't it? Because you, oh, I want to finish it, I want to finish it, I want to finish it. Hi, Elizabeth. They are amazing colors, aren't they? So I'd still look at where, you know, what I want to do at that stage, so that when I come in with, in our case, it's going to be the 65. I'm going to pick up a 65 now, and we're going to map. And remember, what I usually do is I don't go too far in, because yes, you can move it back in, but I get a bit nervous. I'm a shadow. I get a bit nervous if I go too far out. So I prefer to be too short and pull the color out than to go too far out and having to push the color in. But it's up to you. That's just how I feel more comfortable. So let's start down the bottom here. Now, the other thing, yeah, let's map it first, and then as I'm mapping it, I will talk about it. So what I was coming to was that sometimes when you're creating shadow, if you think about it, shadows have shapes. The shape of yourself, a glass, and that shadow gets narrower or wider depending on how close or far it is, or big it is, or short it is. So the other thing I tend to look at is how if I make it, probably better if I show you. If I make the shadow this far in, or out rather, that means that this is higher. If I made it just slightly like that, that means I'm showing that this petal is closer to the leaf. So I'm going to put it sort of like this, and as I said, I'm doing it small. This is where I feel I get the opportunity to move, or or bring it out a bit more. So, I'm bringing it around here. You can see I'm just using sort of a flicking motion like that. You may want to hold it. I'll give you another method that you might want to try, is to do it like so, but remember to think of the direction as well. Sorry, that's the other thing, is that when you look at the leaf, you can see that the lines are clearly going in that direction. So even if I'm doing the shadows as I am here, I'm still thinking about the direction. So the same thing here, thinking about the direction. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to, as I said, I'm going to make this leaf behind this leaf. So I'm going to think about the shadow here, and it doesn't have to be, perfect, but around, roughly around where you think it you would like it to be. So it is not sort of, it has to be here. No, we're not there. It's your coloring. So I'm going to start from this bit here, and I'm going to, actually, sorry, I'm going to turn it around because it's much more comfortable. You might want to do that yourselves as well. Turn it, not because you see me holding it one way and you think that's the way to hold it. No, you turn your colouring the way that you feel comfortable. And I just want to go back to the flicking technique again. If you're not sure about the pressure, just keep doing this until you see the colour coming onto the page, and then that's your pressure. There. So I'm going to go down, see the bit of the leaf here. I'm still going to go down a bit more. Doing as much as possible. And then I'm looking at here as well. Sometimes, as you've seen me before doing, I may leave a place and then come back and put the shade in, or what, the curves and things like that afterwards, when I feel a bit more sort of understanding of what I want it to look like, in more detail. So I'm going to leave it like this for now. And what we're going to do next is to blend these bit into the darker, the shade into the light. So I'm holding the 65 in my left hand, and I'm picking up the 179, and I'm first of all going to start by, on the edges, flicking it a little bit like that, just right on the edge. You don't want to go to the middle of it, because remember, we'll be moving the color, so you'll be taking the color away. So what we want to do is to move the color, to blend it into each other, but slightly like this. And the reason why I'm holding the 65 in my other hand is that you'll see, like, places like here, we may need to consider doing pen to pen pickup. So we'll have a look at where we need to do that. So let's stay on this side first before we move up here. So down here, you might like this sort of look. So it doesn't look too bad, does it? But I'm still going to do the pen to pen. So just a reminder, what I tend to do is, rather than, if you want to hold your pen this way or this way, the pen that you're going to pick up the color, I recommend that you keep it in that position, because if you keep turning it, I find that Oops, never mind. You didn't see that bit. You didn't see that bit. The what I find is that I can't remember and I end up turning it around. And when you don't need, if you've kept it the same place, you know it's there, you just turn and you clean it off. The other thing you might want to consider is taking out the chisel end and, oops, there. Is it going to focus? There. On that flat bit of the chisel end, there. Is it focusing? Is it focusing? It's not going to do it for me. Anyway, I'm not going to waste time on that, but you can tell, oh, there it is. That flat bit at the top up here. No, it's gone because my finger, isn't it? But that flat bit there is where I would use as well to pick up the color. And again, it makes it easier. You've got the flat edge, you just rub it off. So it's up to you. You might not mind turning it round and round. You might think, yeah, I'm fine with that. So cool. And then the same thing with the pen that I'm going to pick up. In this case, we're going to be using the 179. I will hold the pen in one place so that I know that I'm only picking it up on this side. So when I go to clean it out, I only need to clean it out on one side. I don't need to keep rotating the pen around. But that's what I like to do. So just thought I'd share that. So I'm going nib to nib. I'm using the 179, going to the tip of the 65, and I'm gently, not hard, just gently picking up. Because the more you press, the more the color that you're picking up with goes into the color that you're picking up, and the same vice versa. So if you take it up just a little bit, then you put down a little bit at a time. So it's not too dark. You can always go over it, you know, by picking up a bit more if you want to. And what I like to do as well is once I've picked up, I keep going until I feel that the color of the pickup color, in our case the 65, has come out onto the page, so I'd have less to sort of rub out. So it's come off our 179. Okay, now I'm going to turn around and look at this bit. So I find it's easier for me to do so. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm only going to concentrate around these edges. So again, you can start this end, or you can start there, or you can start in the middle. It doesn't matter. I'm going to start in the middle, just because. And hopefully you can see in yours as well, it's already starting to have that shape, that doming. You can almost see the doming effect already starting. And again, if you see there's bits in yours, use the pick up method. Because the aim of what we're trying to do here is to make sure that the edges are the colors are blended into each other. So we're aiming for a seamless blend in this one. You know, you might do something else and you're quite happy. Like here, we haven't really got, we've got some seamless blend going on, but you can still see the lines, you know, etc. in there. But you might want something really smooth, and that's when you're really going on to the seamless blend. Okay, so now I'm going to be picking up the 217, and that's our darkest color. And with this one, just turn it round facing, I'm now looking at which parts I feel is going to be the darkest, where I really need to make sure that the leaf is looking really underneath. So looking at this area here is where I need to start thinking of that. So I'm going to use the dotting method. So I'm just going to dot as close as I can. Can you see that? As I can to the edge. And again, it's the same thing. If you're not sure, bring your pen down slowly until you see the color. And you can see mine probably just looks like it's just created another line, which is fine. That's what you're looking for. Okay, just looking for dots that you're creating another extra line around here. And I'm trying not to leave a gap as well. I'm trying to keep the dots as close together as possible. If I miss, you saw me do that there, I'll just go back in and fill in the gap. It's no big deal. Okay. So the next thing now is I'm going to leave it as this bit first. I am going to look at this in a moment, but I want to finish concentrating on this part. So we're going to do the pick up a color again and blend in. So we're going to be leaving I'm holding the 217 in my left hand, and I'm going to pick up my mid color, which is the 65, and I'm going to start now looking to blend. Now this might be a little bit more harder. You might need to do dots on the ends and flick like so, and as much as possible, you know, take your time. If you do flick like this, let's do it like this, then do it as so. And you can see I'm actually moving my hand. I'm not just flicking and doing this. I'm moving my whole hand as well, as I'm going around, just so that I'm comfortable. And you can see the page is turning as well. It's all about feeling comfortable. And you can see here it's going to be pretty dark, isn't it? So we're going to have a look at that bit. So here I'm seeing that, in my mind, I'm seeing this as a V, and that V will be darker because both this side of the petal and this side of the petal are creating a shadow in this area. So not to make it too harsh, I'm going to use I'm going to pick up some color of the 217. So with the mid color that we've got here, the 65, I'm going to go to the nib of the 217 and just gently pick off some as so, and put some down in that corner. So you still get it, but it's not as harsh. It's quite subtle. And now I'm going up, so I can, remember I was saying about using up the color as much as possible. So I'm just going to continue using up this color slightly until I get to here. Now I'm going to keep going forward. So now I'm going to put down the 217. Let me know if I'm going too fast, you know, or you need me to go any slower. Just let me know. I don't want to be just sat here coloring away and it's not about that. Yeah, so please let me know, you know, if you need me to slow down. I will do so. It's not a problem. So I'm holding the 65 in my hand now, and I'm picking in my left hand, and I'm going to be using the 179 to try and smooth this area out. So I'm going to use my 179, as I was saying, pick up the color from the nib of the 65, and I'm going to try and soften out these bits, just gently. Softening them. Like so. And you can see now I've tried to make this leaf look quite, not too far, but a little bit more of a distance between the petal and the leaf, because of the depth of the shade or the shadow. So now what I'm going to be looking at, let me just put my colors and get them in the right order. What I wanted to look at is this, the stem area. So usually when you're thinking, or when I'm thinking about creating stems, is I need to decide on the shape of the leaf. So do I want the leaf to curve out, or do I want the leaf to sort of bend in so that the sides are up, or do I want a combination? This will come as when you look at the picture, what the shape of the leaf is and where it's situated. These are all the things that's going through my mind when I'm looking at a leaf. This one is quite straightforward. You can see from the shapes that, if I do it from this one here, that this is slightly going in, and then this sort of curves out. So we need to focus on seeing how we can make this part look dark, so that it sort of looks dark here and then comes lighter as it comes out, like here, and then creating the shape so that it does look like it's got the depth, so that we create this sort of look around the edges to sort of give it more of a shape so it doesn't look too flat. So first of all, I'm going to look at doing this part, and I'm going to be picking up the 65, and I'm just going to turn my work a bit so I can a bit more comfortable. Ignore that. So I'm going to be putting with my 65, I'm going to be putting a line down here to start off with. And then just slightly flick outwards, but looking at the direction, we can see that the lines are going this way, so I need to make sure that I'm flicking in that direction as well. So let's gently, so right up to the top, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to start from down here and come up. Could have done the same thing here, it doesn't matter. We'll be blending that all in together. Yep. So this, what the 65 has done there for me as well, it's focused on my mind where I want that bit of shadow to be. So now what I'm going to do is to focus on getting the depth here. So I'm going to use my darker shade. So in this case it's the 217, and I'm just going to not just draw a line like this. I'm going to do it in short, sharp movements. so it's more delicate than just going straight down. So the thing is, I don't like, I wouldn't personally leave it like this, because you could, but I prefer to make sure, as we've been doing, that in this case especially, that it's soft. So I'm using my 65. I've picked up my 65, just as we've done here. And you can see I've still got, what I've done is I'm still holding the 217 in my left hand for the reason that we were using here, just in case as I'm going along here, right at the edge, and I'm thinking, as I'm looking there, I'm thinking it's not showing that depth the way I want it. It's not dipping in. So what I'll do is I'll take my 65 and I'll go to the nib of the 217, and then what I would do is I'd pick up that color and I will put it down, just light touches, and you can see I'm still going without picking up any more. I'm going to go to this side now, the other side of the stem. Pick up a little bit more. You see, I'm only gently picking it up as well. Oops. There. See, all I'm doing is using, you can see I'm just using a light little flicking motion. And it's naturally showing me that there's a white space here. There's a white space here, but I think I want to do something. I want to make it a bit more different, this white space, but yes, I'm going to leave some white space here. But looking at this, let's focus on this side after we finish this. So this is how I'm thinking. So I'm showing you my thinking process. So as I'm going along, I'm thinking, about this and this, okay, I'm going to go there next. So it's not a matter of do this part first and then this part and then this part. It's really how you feel for that moment doing that particular part of that image. Unless you've got a specific, so no, actually I like to do it, especially when I'm doing this, I do this in this order, this in this order every single time, then you know, that's fine too. Okay, so now I'm going to look at this side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put down my 217 aside. Moment. I'm going to hold the I'm going to use the 65, sorry, not just hold, I'm going to use the 65 to try and bring out this darker area here, and look to, and what we'll be looking to do now is to try and get that curve on this side of the leaf. Let's focus on just getting the curve on this side of the leaf and leaving some lighter area along here, because you can see it's naturally left it there. So let's work with that, because it's done that for us. So again, what I'm doing is I'm looking at the shadow here between these two, and I'm just going to do some dots. Do it this way so you can see right up to the edge. The same thing as we did down here with the darker color, the 217. We're doing the same thing up here with the 65. So I'm just dotting, and I'm going to go right down to here where we'd said that we wanted the shadow, where we'd marked it. So I'm going to do the same thing here, all the way down. You can see I go out of the edges too, but you know, we try as much as possible. We know we can move it, so That I would put a nice little, I'll put something else on top of that and a stamp, you know, something else, you know. We're crafters, we'll think of something. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the 65 in my left hand, and I'm going to use the 179 as my pickup color to smoothen these bits out. So I'm not going to go straight in with the 178 to smooth it as we've been doing before. I'm going to use the 65. I'm going to be picking up the 65 color with the 179, like so. And I'm going to put down the 179 here and do some flicking and pulling. So really what I'm doing is I'm pulling the color. I hope this all makes sense, because all I hear is numbers. I just hear all these numbers, and I'm quite I'm just you know, aware that sometimes if I'm not saying numbers in the right way, or you could please just put in the comments, say what, and I'll re-say it, because I know it can be confusing hearing all these numbers. So please, you know, I won't take it. Just tell me what number, and I'll re-say it. No problem. So you can see what I'm doing here is just picking up, oops, sorry, some bits here. And now I'm going to continue with picking up the 65 with the 179 and bring it down. Trying to keep here clear, because now what I'm doing is I'm trying to give the it the look of folding out. The fact that the light bits on the top will give it that sort of sheen round look, because we're making down this end darker because it's away from us, and this is towards us, so immediately we're going to see it in that way. So you can see I'm picking up. I'm still going to go all the way down to here. You see I'm doing dots as well. There's this wiggly wobbly as well that Mel talks about in our classes as well, the education. So that's this sort of little movement here as well. You might want to try using some of that technique as well. There. Just softening this. I'm using the 179 to do this bit as well. That's what I'm using here. Now, I'm putting down the 65, and I'm going to hold on to the 179. And what I'm going to look now is to soften this area and give it that light look, you know, and make it blend a bit more rather than having this sort of jaded bit. But also it looks just fine if that's the look that you know, depends on what you're doing. So to do this, what I'm going to be doing is this swiping motion. I'm exaggerating at the moment, but this swiping motion. So I'm trying to make room. Let's call it I'm making room for the color. So the lighter shade. So if I'm moving it like this, I'm moving the darker colors out. If I start touching the edges, remember here we were pulling the color. So if we push it too far and we think, oh, we want to come back a bit, we can pull it in. If it's not enough, we can go back, pick up the other color and go back again, pick it up, put it down and play around with it till you get it. So first of all, let's start off with this. We're going to do the swiping, and again, swipe slowly. We're only going to go like this, quite gently, and as soon as you see the color, you're there. You see, I'm trying to keep it in that area. It looks dark, but it will It will dry light. See, as little as possible. There. So if you wanted this bit darker, just to show you, I'm picking up the 65 and I'm holding it. So no, let's use it. Sorry, let's get hold of the 65 and I'm going to do the dots again in the same area, but I'm going to bring it down a bit more. So I'm going to start from here. See, I'm slightly doing the little dots and I'm using the 65. And right up to the edge. And as well, you don't need to keep going in this direction. If you want to start from here and go up, fill in the bits as you find it's more comfortable, do so. Then I'm going to go right down the edge this time to about here. And now what I'm going to do is dot on top of it so that it softens. Oops, sorry, that it softens this. You can see already it's starting to sort of come in together, isn't it? It's starting to blend. And I'm going to soften it a little bit, but not too much, because I'm going to, otherwise I'll remove the color. So I'm going to start dotting slightly on top of it, not too hard, because I want it to be dark, but I want it to be soften. Okay, so then what I would do then is I'll take a look, and I can see that the edges, this is what I'm talking about, so I thought that's why I do it as well. You can see again, after we've done this, it's got that sort of harsh edge, let's call it that. So I can still hold on to my 179 and I can pull it. Oops, just gently. Pull it from the edges. Just gently pull it in. And then do the same thing on that side. I can pull that in a bit. Okay, at this point I would let it dry. I'd move on to the next bit and see. You can see already, I'm not sure you can see on your screen, but I can see it's already starting to dry light, this bit here. So last bit here, let's look at this. So what I'm thinking now is I want to finish off this, and I want to give this the shape the same way we did here and leave a little bit of light. So where would I start? I would start on this bit here and see how it looks. Well, I'm not going to worry about the curve, that bit yet. At this moment I'm going to focus on trying to see how I can get that to sort of smooth in a little bit better into this whiter area. So to do that, I'm going to hold on to my 179 as the color I'm going to put down, but in my left hand I'm going to hold the 65, because the 65 was the middle color that we used here. So what I want to do is saying I want to blend this in a bit. So I do start off with the 1779. So I'm just turning it so it's more comfortable. I'm still working in this area here, and I'm flicking it into the middle just to see if that does the trick. Looks okay actually, just a little bit, just to blend, not all the way through. Okay, That looks fine. I didn't need to use this, but if you need to use it, the same thing, pick it up from the corner and blend it in. Okay, right, let me turn it round. And you can see here, this is why I don't always go to the edge straight away. This almost looks okay, doesn't it? The way that it is. So this is the reason why I do it, but I still want this to have a bit more shape rather than just leaving it like that. So what I would do is to pick up the 65 again, and what I'd be looking at is doing the same thing that we did here, but not doing the dots with the 65. I'll be looking to just use the pickup, so using the 179 as the color I'm coloring, but I'm picking up some of the 65 to put it down so that it's not too light and it's not too harsh. So for me to do this, let me see if I can maybe turn it this way, might be a way to turn it. And so I'm going to pick it up from here. This is my 179 and this is my 65, and I'm picking it up and I'm just doing slight, see, I'm using it as my color, the color I'm laying down, I'm using it in that way. That's the way I'm thinking. I'm blending those at this moment. This is what I'm thinking. I'm using those two colors to put down a color that I want, the shade. See, it's the same. Can you see it's getting darker? I'm picking up more, going over the top. And it's not going darker because I'm laying color over color. It's going darker because I am picking up more of the color to put on top. So that's the reason why. Rather than because I'm going over and over with the same pen. It's not that. Okay. Hi Caroline, just seen you. How you doing? You all right, Caroline? Okay, so you see this is the light area here. It's the from our coloring we can see that this is the natural place for that light to be. So you can see I don't always I have an idea in my mind maybe, but I don't always stick to it. I let what I'm coloring sort of guide me to do it. Oh, no problem. No problem. No problem, Caroline. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing here as we were doing down here. So I'm going to start from the middle. So I'm turning it around. Hopefully you can see there now. I've got the 179 in my hand and I'm starting from the lightest point that I can see. And I'm swinging it gently. All the way up in that space. So wherever your space is, you do the same. And that is our leaf. We have done the leaf. Woohoo! So you can see as you go along, let it dry. You might see it's gentle. I can see it here, but you might decide that, you know what, you want your one to look a bit darker. Do the same thing. Do one of the two, I suggest, is do the pickup as we were doing it, or do the dots along the edge with the 65 and use the 179 to soften it and pull it out like this, just to soften the edges, just so that it doesn't look too too harsh. Okay, now we have 5 minutes. I don't really want to rush this one, but as I was saying, what I'll do is to just give you an idea of how this works. How was that with you? I'm talking about the flower petal, sorry. How was doing this? Was this okay? Oh, don't worry about it, Jackie. Don't worry, it's good to see you anyway, Jackie. Okay, so what I oh, I've turned it around and I don't know where I am. Sorry, guys. So this is the one. You can see I've marked it here. If we've got time, we'll do this petal. So we'll start it off. I'll start as well by rubbing this out. Let's just do this. I'll just show you exactly what I'm colouring so it makes sense. So we've just coloured in this leaf here. This is the one that I said I was going to go through with you. I'm only going to have a chance to show, because we've done a lot of what I'm going to show you here in this anyway. But I'll start showing you so you can go away and play. So what I'm going to do is to colour this leaf. Just start colouring it in so that it's another way of colouring. You know, you could use the way that we've been doing these, and you've got another method there as well that you can use, which one that you like. And you can see with this one, it's lighter. It doesn't mean that you can't use the other methods to make it light, but this is just another way of making it lighter. As I said, it's just a balance, just like here's how we balance, move color. It just comes, and you might say, you know what, I don't like that one. It's paper. Start again. If you really just don't like it. So let me just bring in the colors again so that we know where we are. As I said, I'm going to be doing the flower petal. So we go back to our flower palette, and it's the 182 for our lightest, the 216B for our mid, and the BG9 as our darkest. So let's do that. As I said, I know we won't have time to finish it, but let's get started on it, and then you can finish it yourselves, because you'll see it's pretty straightforward, because you'll recognize a lot of what we've done. So let's start coloring in this petal with the lightest color, which is the 182. Is everybody okay to stay on for a little bit longer whilst I just show this? Let me know. We'll still continue the 182. Said I'm not rushing, so don't rush. Even though I say this, I'm not going to rush through this part. I'm still going to take my time. It's just that I won't go through to the end like I've done in previous. I'll start off by just colouring the base. We'll do that together, and then I'll show you about the pickups as well. So then you continue doing it yourself. So don't rush, please. Okay, brilliant, Caroline. So let's colour this together. So you see, I'm not rushing, so please don't rush. It's not like Zoom where they kick us out. It was a nightmare. I don't know if any of you was there with me before. I got fed up. I think I only did it once. Can you remember, Jackie, if I did? I think I only did it once, didn't I? And I just thought, no, I can't do this. Let's see if we could do Facebook Live instead. So that's where we are. It's okay if you're doing it in one sitting, but stopping it for half an hour, going back in, I just thought, oh, this is too much. So if I'm thinking it's too much, I can't, you know, the rest of you must be thinking the same thing. And remember, it's just slightly, once you put your pen to the card and you can see the color, if you're not sure, do this, you know, slowly bring it down and have a look. I still check it. It's not, I'm sure some people out there say, no, I'm fine, I could do it, but I still check. Because sometimes I feel myself even going down too hard when I don't need to. So I still check myself. Who's into the World Cup? I know I am. I'm a football fan. Anybody else in the group? I know, it's just it's terrible, isn't it? You prefer rugby? Yeah, I know a lot of people though, Jackie, prefer. No, you don't like rugby? Sorry, Jackie, I know I can see we've talked about this before, isn't it? You do prefer rugby, and Caroline, you're not interested. I just never got my head around rugby. For so I just don't understand it. They throw the ball away. Yes, there's a try, and you know, sort of get that. Run across the line, you know. That's a huddle. That's a throw out, whatever. That's about it. Let's see. Taking my time. So as I say, don't rush it. And the other thing is that I no longer worry about it drying because that's the other thing that I used to do, especially at the beginning. I used to be like, oh, I need to get through this, especially this wide area, because it's going to dry on me. For these parts, I don't worry about it. I'm going to show you, when we do more, I'm going to show you even with the larger parts, if I feel I don't want to do all at once, I'll do half or a part and then blend it into the next bit. And I'd look at it and think, right, for example, if I was going to do this petal and it was huge, I'll say, okay, I'm just going to do that side first, and then I'll do this side afterwards. I and then I'll worry about blending it together because it's brilliant. They all blend in together. Oh yeah, football. That VAR rule is just ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So, what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be using my 182 as the color that I'm coloring in all the time. I'm just going to be using this color, and I'm going to be using the other two colors, the 216 and the BG9, as colors that I'm picking up to put down and to give a different shade, etc., things like that. That's the one I'm looking at, those colors. So let's start off with our mid color, which is the 216, and I'm going to hold the 216 in my left hand because I'm going to be using the 182, sorry, as the color that I'm picking up and putting down. So I'm going to start from down here, and my mid color, I still use the same principle. The mid color is showing me where, sort of marking where I want the shadows to be. So I'm going to do the same thing using my 182, bringing it to the nib of my 216, and I'm going to lay it down in the middle here. I'm going to keep doing that. Might hear a little squeaking, but remember that's normal because it's rubber to rubber. You can see I'm still doing the flicking motion. Doing it delicately. I'm just going to turn it around slightly. Put it here so you can see me picking up the colour as well. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it this way, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm thinking exactly the same way that I did when I was thinking of these. It's the same principle. I'm going to be looking here for all the gaps, like here where there's folds. I'm going to be looking at how I want the petal to look. So it's the same thing. We want it to bowl this way. You can see that it sort of folds, doesn't it? It sort of folds over this bit, and this looks like it's going to be the highest point for us. So do the same thing. Got my 182, and I'm picking up here, and I'll be setting where I want these shadows to be. You can see I'm going back here as well, because I'm using the 182. It was my base color, and it's the color that I'm using to color in. You can see it makes it easier to blend those sides in. I'm going to go around the edges. You see I'm blending it in actually as I'm going along, because it's the same color as the base. Making sure I don't leave any gaps. Okay, now I'm going to go down this side, and I hope you can see that it's starting already to have that dome effect, and it's much more delicate than these. I've still got the 216 in my left hand, and I'm still using the 182, sorry, to lay down the color. Go all the way around. Okay, remember we can already see here, we know here is dark, so I'm going to have a sip of juice because I remember this time to bring some juice with me. That's better. I usually forget, don't I? So I can already see here that there's a shadow. Excuse me. That didn't clear the frog. That's better. So I can really see that there's a little bit of shadow. Probably don't need to be as deep as this, but again, it's up to you. You might think, actually, I want these two to be much further behind. So it's not just this petal. I can see that this petal as well will be behind. So these sort of little things that I will be looking out, even if I don't spot it in the beginning, I'll be still looking out for it as I go along. So that's this part finished now with the 126. I'm going to put the 216. I'm going to now pick up the BG9 in my left hand, and I'm still got the 128 as the the 182. I told you numbers. Sorry, the 182 to color down. So still focusing on this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it around this way because it's just easier for me. And I'm going to start from inside here first. So again, I'm using the 182 to pick up the color, pick up the BG9 color, and place it down in those dark areas. You can see I'm still doing the flicking motions, but very gently. You see it started to have that dark feel down there, that shadow. There. I would leave it here. No higher than the... I can never remember. Please, community, help me out. I can never remember what these bits in the middle mean. The center of the flower. The bits are sticking out the center of the flower. So I wouldn't put it any higher than there. Anyway, past that to begin with. Maybe later on might look at anything. Actually, I want it a bit further. But right now, I'd leave it there. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking at where I feel I can add some of this darker shade. Because remember now, it's going to be not as deep, as they were making it much gentler by using the 182 to put down the color. So I'm going to look at here. I feel like we can put a bit of shadow, depth of shadow here. So I'm going to pick up the color here, the BG9, and put it down. Remember, this is my 182 I'm using to put it down there. Okay, so then I'll look if there were anywhere else. We said something here about a shadow, so we'll use this to create the shadow. I'm pulling it out. See, I'm doing the flicking motion. Maybe you can put your pen down, then flick. Yeah, you don't need to feel like you just need to do this. If you feel comfortable, more comfortable of going down and flick, do that. Yeah, so we can see there's a gentle bit of color, depth there, shadow. Put a little bit more. Can you see what I mean about it getting darker? It's not getting darker because I'm putting more of this, more color on top of color. It's only getting darker as I'm putting more of this color on top of each other, on top of it, to make it become darker. I hope that makes sense. And I'm looking around. I'm still looking for where I might add some creases, let's say. Let's have a look at this here. I think here I might add some. You see, I'm looking for where the longest. You can use the lines. I'm using the lines really to work out. And now I'm thinking about, do I need any around here for me to work out? Usually I'll turn the image so it's facing me and have a look. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. I said only a little bit. We're only going to end up doing it all. I would have been doing it anyway, so we might as well finish it. We're nearly there. So I'm now going to pick up the 216 in my left hand and still using the 182. You see, we've never changed it. The 182 has always been the color that we are laying down, and we're just using this as a palette. We're just using it as a color that we're using to change the shade, let's say, of the 182. So I'm looking to two things. Can I make this a bit more rounder? These bits, do I need to make them a bit more smoother? And here as well. So I'm going to start with up here. Doesn't matter, I could have started down here. I'm just starting up here. So I'm going to be using the 182 to pick up the did I say that right? 182 to pick up my 1216. The numbers are getting to me now, people. And you see, I'm just going to the edges and pulling it down. I'm not going over it, I'm going to the ends of those bits first. I'm just going to do, excuse me, that's better, got it. I'm just going to do these bits first, these darker bits, just to smoothen them out first. And then I'm going to go to here. Stamen, thank you. I've only just looked up and saw it. Thank you. Thank you, Jackie. So you just soften. The same thing, you know, you have a look. You might think this is too dark. Use the 182 as the tool that you're using to lighten, darken, pick up color in this technique. And now I'm still using the 216 in my left hand, and oops, let's turn it around a bit more, and you can see I'm just going around the edges here because I'm still trying to work on getting that curve. This way, doing this technique, it would be quite delicate looking. Okay. Okay, Caroline, no problem. You see, I'm still doing that. I'm picking up the 216 with my 182, and I'm just gently going around the edges. And then pull, just to soften it up. And as I say, because we're using the base color to do this, to do all this coloring, it will make it easier to get that blend in, and it will dry lighter. So even though it's looking like this, it will dry slightly lighter. So yeah, like this. And this area here, nearly there. I know I said that we would just do, I'll just show you, but you know, I got into it now. Just doing the edges, you can see here and around here. And that's it, I think. Maybe might want to soften this bit here. And again on this side. There. We did it anyway. I'm just going to soften this middle bit here again, as we did before. But using our base color, the 182. And I'm now going to just soften these edges and the middle bit. You can see I'm sort of pulling color. I'm going to try and leave that sort of lighter spots like that rather than coloring it in. If you want to color it in, you can, but I'm just going to put some lines like that through it, just for something different. So I'm pulling it up. And bring this down. There, we've done it, and you can see this looks very much different to this one. I would go over that again. Looking at this one, I think, oh, prefer this one to this one. Ah, thank you, Jackie. Okay, was that okay for everyone? Was that because that's it. That's really what I wanted to cover anyway. So I know we've gone well over time, so thank you for staying around, because it's really good, because I wanted to be able to show you this as well as doing this one, because I did these two, and then I thought, hang on a minute, what about showing this? It's a different way of doing it, because I do use this method as well. So I am going to do only one more before Christmas. I'll put a note on there just for yourselves. I'm thinking around the 10th of December, Monday, sorry, not 10th, Monday the 12th of December, something like that, but I'll put a note out. So I'll let you know. So there'll only be one more before then. But brilliant. Thank you for hanging about. Thank you for tonight. I'm going to have a coffee now, so get my voice back. Watch some football. I know